everybody. This is EmpiHER TV. I'm Allie Craig, and wait till you hear Karen Nowicki's story today. You know, here on EmpiHER TV, we love to bring you amazing, successful women who are building empires, well, the way they see fit. It's not necessarily the standard. It's not what you're going to see out there, but you know what? It makes them happy. More importantly, it makes them successful and loving life, which is exactly what you're trying to do with building your empire. These ladies have done it. Karen has done it couple of times actually with how she's building her empire. Thank you so much for joining us.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.
So tell us about your empire and your backstory, because you've done a lot of things before you've gotten to this business today.
I have. So gosh, where do I start? It's been 12 years as an entrepreneur and business person. I have owned a handful of businesses, and the last one that I co-owned gave me the leverage to do something new. And having been an executive leadership coach for many years, I kept thinking for a better, stronger way to meet the kind of people that I wanted to work with. And so I was thinking, well, what if I did a podcast? And started researching, and within a couple of hours came across Business Radio X, who's been around for a while, and reached out and said, why are you not in the Metro Phoenix area? And they said, why should we be? Let's get on a call. And fast forward to 2 weeks later, I'm on a flight to Atlanta telling my husband that I think this might be the next thing for me. And the reason why Business Radio X is such a great platform is because it opens doors. We've cracked the code on how to do radio, we've cracked the code on how to do podcasting, and those are just wreaths on the door. What we really do is accelerate relationships for business owners to get them in front of the people that they want to do business with. So that's a little bit about this empire. And it's home for me.
Well, and what you were doing previously, because that was a social media that's relationship building too.
It is, but at a distance the way we did it. So I co-owned a company called $99 Social, and we built it to sell it. That was the goal. And so I came on board as the COO to build the team, to put the structure and the framework in place so that we could really create this massive empire and pass it off to somebody else. So it was, for me, about relationships with my team and our content writers, and of course of the clients. But this for me is more intimate. This is really around having business owners come in. I help them create a winning podcast so that they can shine the spotlight on the people they want to do business with. Because so many people, when they do podcasts, they think, oh my gosh, what would I talk about over and over and over again to have the series continue? We say it's not about that. At Business Radio X, it's about shining the spotlight on other people, and through that, you become the hero because you're giving them that platform, not unlike, obviously, what we're doing today.
Well, and I love how you said it, they become the hero, because that's really essential, because whoever you're doing business with, whoever your end customer or consumer is, they want to feel like they're valued, and that really is that kind of hero mentality.
That's it. It's the law of reciprocity. People don't understand, and I know you can understand, but many people don't understand that when you have an opportunity to become media, become part of that as what you have to offer in your business, whether you're the auto mechanic or the, whoever you are in business.
The other business coach down the road or something like that.
Anybody, the author, you name it, any vertical, any industry, when you can give media as an extension of your service and invite people to come play, you're automatically seen through the eyes of other peers as an influencer, somebody who's making a difference in the industry.
Because that's the one great thing still about media, is that media still is valuable to our end consumers. It is still looked at as something that, oh, that is a market distinction. They must be good.
Because it's all about storytelling,
yes.
Right? Just exactly what you do, Allie, with everything that you do. It's putting the spotlight on somebody who has a great story, an antidote to share. Not all rainbows and lollipops, but
no, never.
Yeah, exactly. So as long as it's real and it's driven by authentic business relationships, we say can be part of what we're doing.
I love that. So speaking of stories. Yeah. We all see in the media that success, like what are we sold? Success is this, oh, it's a struggle, but it's just an uphill. Just keep going, climbing. That's not success. Success is not a straight line. I've never met someone in 20 years that success was a straight line. So let's talk about some of those struggles that have happened along your career, either in this business or your previous business ventures. What was a moment where you were like, I was not seeing that one coming?
I think for me, the biggest thing has always been my attitude and mindset. That's been my biggest gift, but it's also been my greatest struggle. The second I let some doubt get in there, creep in, then I can be down in a different direction that keeps me from doing the money-related tasks to take my businesses to the next level. So staying out of my own way is the biggest piece of it for me. And then also surrounding myself with people who are really influencing instead of bringing me down. I'm 12 years into business for myself, and it's had a lot of variations. A lot of friends and family say, oh my God, you're so good about morphing into like the shifting, shape-shifting really. But I've had to do that because I believe in the value that I bring to business owners and how I can help them be their best. So if I get stuck in being one thing all the time, I'm not good for anybody. So I've had to have these different versions of myself, and this is the latest version of it.
Well, it's all an evolution. I mean, your brand, your business, who you are personally and who your clients are, it's all about that kind of evolving, and sometimes people get that. And a lot of times I think business owners are scared to do that because they think, well, this is supposed to be my lane. We hear those things, choose your lane and stick with it, right. Ride your one horse. And I'm like, no, we are not riding a horse. We are chariot drivers, people. We have a whole chariot of horses in front of us that we're going for.
And if we just stick with what we think our clients need and want, we're going to miss out, right? So that's why I continue to shift and change. And I hope this is it forever for me, but I don't know that that's it, right? My goal is to build Business Radio X countrywide, but as I continue to step into this further, who knows what seed will be planted in my heart and in my mind, and I may shift. But for now, it's looking like this, and I'm 54 years old, so I'm ready to stick with that one final thing.
So you work with a lot of other entrepreneurs, so you see sometimes the struggles that sometimes they can't see for themselves. What struggle do you see that most entrepreneurs either stop themselves from fully going in and committing to something to say yes to that kind of up-leveling, or maybe it's just a self-sabotage, because that happens too?
So that's been my greatest strength, but also where I've gotten stuck is in the self-sabotage and then knowing how to get myself out of that. What I see, I think that's part of it, but what I see more for entrepreneurs is that wanting to hold everything for themselves. If we come into our business and we're the technician and we're really good at whatever it is that we're doing, we want to do it by ourselves, but we can't grow if we're going to keep doing everything by ourselves. So this is a great example. The first year that I owned Business Radio X here in the Phoenix market, I was doing social media by myself. I was doing all the interviews. I was putting them on our website. I was booking guests, everything. And I was pulling my hair out like a maniac and not spending any time with my family. I knew I had to do that long enough until I found a system and the right way to do it. And then it was time to pass it off to the right team members. So getting the right people on the bus and in the right seats, I think, is somewhat hard for entrepreneurs when they first get started.
And realizing that just because you chose somebody doesn't mean you have to stick with them forever. Sometimes things are seasons.
Very true. And making sure that conversation with those teammates is up front so that they don't think going into it that this is going to be a long-term. Another thing I think that might be indicative or a habit for female business owners, and I know it's for me, I love working with the people that I love working with. They become my friends. Mm-hmm. Again, that's great, but sometimes that also can be a negative thing because if I lead with the friend card, sometimes people don't see the value in me as a business owner on the other side. So I'm getting more savvy with how to work that. But there's a place for friendship in business, but then there's also a place for being an authority in what we're doing and saying yes, and then also having a very discerning no.
Well, and I think that's really for being an expert, because I understand from a branding perspective, I'm messing with girls in dressing rooms, you get intimate real fast with your clients, especially when you're doing all the production side for a brand. And I completely can relate to, I do love my clients. And that's why I'm like, I'm your branding girl for life as long as you want me. But I feel like I always hold the expert card. You can be friends to me, you can tell me your personal stuff, but you'll never know my personal stuff. And that's kind of, for me personally, the boundary I've made over the last 20 years. But I want to know about selling your last business. And here's why. People feel so guilty. Like when I start the branding conversation with somebody, and I'm like, so do you want to keep this business? Is it a legacy business for you, or is the goal to sell it? They feel so self-conscious about the idea of saying, you know what? I really want to sell it. They're like, don't tell my clients. Don't tell anybody I want to sell this. And I'm thinking, well, then how the hell are we going to sell it if we don't tell anybody that at some point our goal is to sell? And so did you feel any kind of guilt or, maybe negative mindset around, am I like, I don't know. Well, did you have a story around selling your last business?
We did. So the team had been formulated before I even came on board as a partner, and the goal was always to build it to sell it. And I think even with a legacy business, we have to plan for what is that exit strategy from the very beginning. The time to do it is not when you're getting tired of the business or an illness has shown up or or you're on to your next thing. We've got to start thinking about our exit strategy in the beginning. Wouldn't you agree?
It's only smart that way because then you don't have to rebrand things because, like if you brand around your name, it's like, well, then your value of your business when you sell it isn't as valuable because you aren't coming with the business necessarily. And so you've already lost money in the market of that. But it is amazing to me how many people, they are, I don't want to say shy about the idea of selling it, but they feel guilty about if I sell this business, then I must not care about it as much or something.
If that's right. If that's the case, then wrap your brain around what gift you can have after you've sold it. For me, it was two businesses. This one, Phoenix Business Radio X, and my husband's auto shop. That was the leverage. We had a couple of really great vacations and money towards retirement. So for me, there was no guilt in it. And even I'm very transparent about growing this business. I hope that somebody will want within my family to keep doing this after I'm finished with it. But if not, I'm building it so that somebody else, it's a book of business. It's a great opportunity for someone to take it afterwards. And if we're open about it, then I don't know why there'd be any guilt. Money needs to be part of the conversation and everything that we do when it relates to business.
Well, because that's what's a business and not a hobby. That's
right.
It's when we make the money.
Big difference. Big difference.
So let's go a bit deeper because clearly not the first business for you, maybe not the last business for you with Phoenix Business Radio X. What is that deeper desire for you? Kind of like what is that common red thread that brings you from one project to the next?
I believe my mission is really to help leaders become more grounded so that they can move from success to significance. That for me is the thread that I've had running through my entire entrepreneurial journey the last 12, 13 years. So I keep looking to see what's the best way to help other people win and succeed. And I have to keep growing in that too. That's the undercurrent of everything that I've done.
I love that. Go from success to significance.
There's a huge difference, right? Success to me might mean financial success. It could mean that people recognize you as a leader in your industry, but significance to me is leaving a legacy. And so many of the people that come through this studio to share their story, they want to be significant. They want to make an impact. They want to maybe change and transform the way business is doing in whatever industry they're involved in. And if I can help shift and help someone nudge them in that direction, then I know that I'm winning as well.
Well, and significance, besides being a natural human need that we all have, it means that people desire you equally. Because you can be successful.
Yes.
I mean, like, look at the Super Bowl that happened this year. People weren't happy the Patriots won. They're very successful. But that doesn't mean they're necessarily very significant because there's haters on success. But significance means that you're basically friending them as well.
If we look at the high achievers and people who are successful, or maybe they appear that way on social media.
That's a big difference.
That's a whole other conversation.
I appreciate your distinction there.
But a lot of times they're empty. Their relationships at home suck, or they don't have the relationships they want, or they have some sort of an addiction, or whatever's going on in their life because they're empty. So significance would suggest that whatever, like you had asked me, what are you passionate about? What's the undercurrent for this? If I can help people find what that is for them, and then they can hitch their wagon on being significant in that area. Again, like you said, it's never a straight line, but at least they have that true north or that lighthouse to go towards. And at the end of their life or at the end of that business, when they open up a new chapter, they can sit back and go, damn, I did it.
Yeah.
I helped make this happen. That's significance.
So then what is success for you?
What is success for me?
When do you know you've made it, quote unquote?
So success for me as it relates to Phoenix Business Radio X is having multiple studios. I've been working at this for almost 2 years, and I want to get this to a place where it's humming and I don't have to be directly involved so that I can go open other hyper-local studios around the Metro Phoenix or Arizona area. We want to build across the country, and so I'm helping to lead the path in that. So success for me looks like multiple studios. And the significant piece of that is that other studio partners will fill those spaces in the cities that I'm not going to be in, and they can have their own win and their success as well. So for me, it's funny, no one's really asked me, so what is success, right after I've explained significance. And so it's funny, I'm like having this disattachment or unattachment to the word success, and I'm like, well, let's talk significance, because success doesn't mean anything to me anymore. Isn't that funny?
That's an interesting perspective, though, especially because we're trained to be so success oriented, and most people, be like, oh, I'll be successful when I'm, making $4 million a year. And it's like, well, why 4 million? Like, why that number? Like, what's that around? So, but to know that for you, success is really when you can help influence other people's lives, their businesses, their reach, and their growth, that means you've made it.
And help them with the clarity around what legacy do you want to live? Let's go do that. Let me help you be in the shadows for that. It's not about me, it's about you. And watch them soar.
So what a great empire that is, because it's about creating, a little community of other people with deeper reaches and deeper growth as well.
Yep, absolutely.
I love that. Well, thank you so much for sharing your story with us. We so appreciate it. Anyone wants to know more about Karen, you can check her out on all those social media platforms. It's Phoenix Business Radio X. You can check out Karen's story and, hey, maybe even be part of Phoenix Business Radio X as well. Thanks everyone for joining us on EmpiHER TV. We'll see you guys next week with another great story.